How many? How many? How many? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, what did I get up to?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of How Many, the only podcast on the internet that really counts. I am your host, Jesse Jackson. Joining me tonight is Scott, Bob, Gary, and Junior. And we're going to do a very quick sports quick hits. I can't do a Norm. Can you insert a fake Norm here? Quick hits.
Yeah, but it's going to be the abortion drop.
An abortion.
I had ended up watching a little bit of the Euro game, the soccer game, England against Italy, because I had a couple people on Set Listing Bruce that were from England that were excited about it. So last night, when I turned on the TV, it was on ESPN and the Rangers were about to pick. So I went, oh, okay, I'll watch this. Not that I will know anyone. So any hot sports opinions about the Rangers top pick yesterday?
With the second pick of the 2021 MLB draft, the Texas Rangers select Jack Leiter, a right-handed pitcher from Vanderbilt University.
Well, Jack Leiter showed his name all year long with regards to being at the top of the draft, and now he goes number 2. Fastball plays up with everybody and could pitch in the majors right now if he needed to.
Arguably the best fastball in the draft. The comp is Walker Buehler. Same school, same frame, same stuff. Has a chance to be an ace.
Just a giant thumbs up.
Yeah, from all accounts, the draft went very, very well for the Rangers. They got the highest rated pitching prospect, I believe, in all of college baseball, right?
In all of baseball, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of a Luka type deal. Best player in the draft, but wasn't taken first overall.
Yeah, I guess what they said is like he's the top pitcher from the top college that produces pitchers. I'm sure he will end up failing because it's the Rangers, but just for now, we're a little happy.
They did make a really good point this morning on the Musers where they were talking about not only does he have the arm to throw the pitches, but having had a dad who was a major league pitcher, he knows how to pitch. Like he not just throw.
A very, very successful pitcher.
Yes.
His dad was really good.
Well, my question would be, how long till he actually hits the field?
So they said last night if he had to, could pitch in the major league now. I hope they don't rush him. Yeah, that he's that good. But if they take their time and do it right, this would be nice for us to have a solid homegrown ace for multiple years.
He'll probably be in the rotation by 2022.
Yeah.
Well, so that's the thought, is that he might show up sometime in 2022, but you're almost guaranteed to have him here 2023. I think the most interesting thing about Leiter is typically you have the high school kids or the college kids when they're coming out, especially these ace pitchers, their arms just get worn out because they'll throw them. They don't care. They throw them and throw them and throw them. He happens to have been coming into his own in college at the same time as all the COVID stuff was happening. He has a lot less innings on his arms than most of these guys do coming into the league. So I think that's actually going to be a really, really beneficial thing. He has not been overtaxed the way most of those guys have.
That's what the commentators last night on ESPN said, the same thing, that there's a lot of tread left on the tire. The other big news is little things in the Mavericks shaking up. I know we have two massive Spurs fans here. Gary, let's start with you. Did you think it was time for a change in both the general manager and the coaches?
I did. I had problems with Don Nelson and Carlisle throughout the years, but it's hard to argue when they're reeling off 50-win season after 50-win season. And, they got to one finals and they won another finals. There's a lot of things over the years that Donnie didn't value the draft. So there are a lot of wasted picks. It was like he was having fun with it instead of actually taking the chance on hitting on a guy in the second round or whatever. So I thought it was time for a change. Carlisle's not one for developing rookies. So if you're Luka and you show up and you're just ready to play, he's great. If you're not Luka and you're not ready to play, he's a big jerk.
No, you are a big jerk.
So apparently Luka didn't particularly like that. Carlisle was mean to, or not good for, some of the other guys on the team. And even though he was, kissing Luka's shoes, it didn't matter because it bothered Luka the way he treated other people. So I think it was time for a change. I'm extremely excited about Nico Harrison. And I am more than willing to give J Kidd a shot.
A shot?
His first real shots at coaching. He'd literally been out of playing for 9 weeks when he got his first coaching job. So obviously he's had some time to learn some things on that front.
And then you got to think that his time as an assistant coach with the Lakers will help him learn how to coach, quote unquote.
And even when he was here, he learned a lot from Coach Clemens.
But he didn't learn a lot from Coach Mata, but he had an open heart towards Coach Clemens.
I'm coming in with an open mind and a willing heart. I learned a lot from Coach Mata. Now it's time to start to learn from Coach Clemens.
I wonder if for his assistant coaching staff, he'll find Oliver tonight.
I found Oliver tonight. He's so Oliver tonight.
Give up lyric.
I found Oliver tonight.
Stupid. That's all.
Okay. Was he for or against the Finley fascination and the Kennedy assassination?
The Kennedy assassination and the Finley fascination.
All I can remember is Jason Kidd, when he first signed, was excited that Dallas had a Boston market because he loved that food.
Has he already confirmed that there's not going to be a parade?
No, I wasn't having a parade, and I don't think the Mavericks would decide to have a parade.
I just hope that he has the locker room divided with the professionals on one side and the
taxpayers on the other.
This will separate the professionals from the taxpayers.
Well, at least that means that there will be more solid 840 bits in our future as the return of the fake Jason Kidd will make its way back to the ticket.
In seriousness, today's NBA players seem to be more responsive to coaches who were players, especially ones who were fairly recently players. I do think that's a positive.
Cuban talked about it, and they played that on the Musers this morning, that he thought he needed an X and O's coaches, and now he's decided it's better served having a relationship. I'd like us to get some sharp assistants. And I am really curious what this Nico can do with relationships as far as going and getting free agency. It's still going to be tough to get someone to come to Dallas versus New York or California teams, but he does have a relationship. You do have Luka. Poochie and I were talking about, it seems like we aim for the high profile free agent and not often try to go a mid-range, like somebody who's really good.
Again, speaking as an unbiased third party, I have noticed that they do make runs at some high-end free agents and then just end up having to save that dry powder for the following year.
Get used to that feeling, buddy, because that's you for the next decade.
I would agree with that. Kawhi has put us back about 30 years. We'll be in Vegas before we.
I was going to say the Las Vegas
signing
Spurs
another free agent. The other good news is now that Jimmy Jackson's no longer here, Jason Kidd is free to pursue Tony Braxton all he wants.
I have done a lot of bad things in my life. I have fought with Jimmy Jackson. I've had sex with Tony Braxton.
It's not even a real story. You know that, right?
Gary is going to learn how to edit just so he can edit us out of this episode.
I'm going to have a pretty good idea if I just showed up to your house with a baseball bat and hit you in the knees a couple of times and knock it off.
We'll have to lock the door the way that Blake Griffin locked the door and didn't allow Cuban to talk to DeAndre Jordan during the free agency period.
Any concerns about kids off the field behavior?
24 years ago. I mean, honestly, here, look, there's 5 people sitting here right now. I don't work for a company, but I work at companies.
Yeah.
So if anybody's sitting here right now thinks that they could go into their office and find out that nobody anywhere in their organization has ever been arrested at any point in their past for anything, good on you. You work somewhere amazing.
Yeah.
Certainly not the Catholic Church. It was 24 years ago. If he does something, arrest him and put him under the jail. I don't care. I hate domestic violence, but my God, he literally was a kid. He's a 50-year-old man now. If he's still pulling it now, execute him in public square. I don't care.
All right, and so we can't do quick hits without talking Cowboys. Excited that we're actually getting a true training camp in California. We had a good draft, at least in theory.
Hard Knocks.
I fear that. I really fear that.
I'm going to put this out there for everybody, for all 6 people that listen to this podcast. I don't have any doubt that if the NFL had asked Jerry Jones to do Hard Knocks, that he would do it because he loves marketing. There are rules in place. And if you have not been on the show in 10 years and you haven't been to the playoffs for the last 2 years, and if you don't have a rookie head coach, if they tell you you're on, you're on. They used to give you the option, and then teams started declining the option to go on. And the NFL made these new rules that said you don't get an option. If we tell you you're on, you're on. Now, having said that, everybody makes this big deal about the jinx that comes along with it. Go back and look at it. Teams don't regularly fail to meet their expectations coming off that show. There's a lot of bad teams that go on the show, and then they have bad seasons. But when the 0-16 Cleveland Browns go on the show, and then they come out 7-9, they were 0-16 the year before, and they weren't on Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
It's just a bad football team. If you're a Super Bowl team, this can't derail you.
I am looking forward to this. Will be fun entertainment. We just recently, Chris and I, rewatched the Amazon with the Cowboys behind the scene and listened to Jason Garrett being the overcusser.
All right, listen, guys, we're out there playing football, okay? If you don't want to play football, fine. If you want to your mother, you can stay home, okay? We don't tolerate any pussyfooting around, okay?
I think you can say that. Coach, we're sending out for lunch. Sorry to interrupt. You want anything for lunch?
Yeah, let me see the menu. Okay, let me have some waffles. None of that waffle mix from the goddamn store. I'm talking home made waffles. Also, if they have any organic strawberries, I'd like some of those. And some really kick-ass blueberries. I love those big-ass blueberries. You know what I'm saying? Love those butt-fucking blueberries. All right, that'll do it.
I think this will be fun regardless. It adds another spice.
Yeah. Hey, one other Cowboy quick hit. Did you guys see, I think it either came out today or yesterday, the GM survey of quarterback rankings? They had Dak number 7, but the controversial part was that he was one space behind Matthew Stafford. And
Good.
That was there was a lot of people saying, oh, that was a bad.
It was. It's stupid, but they're going to get it stuck right up their backside, and I don't care. So
7's not a bad spot, but I do think that he is probably, when healthy, better than Stafford. And from all accounts, he is doing really well in camp. I'm really looking forward to seeing the Hard Knocks just so I can see more of his progression coming off of that injury, to see how well he moves around the pocket, what kind of improvements he's made to other parts of his game outside of just his mobility. A lot of times when quarterbacks get hurt like that, they focus more on accuracy, they focus more on reading defenses. Those are things that Dak knew how to do already. But because he knows he's not going to be able to rely on his legs as much as he did in the past, I'm hoping that has kind of made him try to improve other parts of his game to make him more of a pocket passer.
And I also think the second year with the same head coach, we already had an episode where we talked about, we feel like the defensive coordinator is going to make some changes. So as always, being a internal Cowboy fan, I'm optimistic, but at the same part guarded, because as I said yesterday on Twitter, watching England versus Italy, and England ended up losing it, I felt like I was watching a Cowboy game. Why do I care if England won or not? But I did.
Have you seen the pictures of CD Lamb? He's bigger.
Oh, that's good.
All buff.
Did he get to like Dez size bigger?
I don't know that he's that big. There are a lot of people that talked about how he was a little slight for a wide receiver, and man, he's not, because he was 20 or 21 years old last year too. So some of that's just natural. You're just getting a little bit older.
All
Chris,
right.
you mentioned McCarthy. I think we'll have a much more accurate assessment of him after this season because of the fact that you've had the full training camp and everybody's healthy and they're back. After this season, we'll really know a lot better whether he's a keeper or not.
Well, you've taken away a lot of the excuses. Reality is last year was a strange year with all the COVID protocols and all the weird off season. So I think this year, hopefully things will be more normal.
Yeah, one of the other things that I'm looking forward to seeing is, we've kind of been seeing snippets here and there of Zeke being in shape and being faster than he has been the last couple of years. Having Hard Knocks kind of expose that even more will be good, just to make sure that it wasn't all kind of a smoke and mirror propaganda campaign to try and make it seem like he was
size. He's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah,
now,
he definitely looked thinner.
That translates to the field's a completely different question, because running backs can fall off of a hill no matter how good a shape they're in. But he's definitely thinner.
Do you think he was motivated by Pollard?
Or was he just motivated by the fact that he didn't even rush for 1,000 yards last year?
Yeah, I think he may have been motivated just by having a bad season.
His season was awful.
And I stand by, there are studies that show if you had COVID, there could be breathing consequences in your lungs. So I think that was another factor. Hopefully he's 100% and we can get something going. Put this one in the books. We'll probably be talking Cowboys again.
Yeah, it'll be time to make our predictions before you know it.
You can find me on Twitter at Jesse Jackson DFW. You can find Scott at Scott_Matula. Gary at Travel Cowboy.
Travel_Cowboy.
Cowboy. Lukewarm Tall Boy for Bob. And at Mexican Junior for
Mexican_Junior for me. And then at How Many Podcast on Twitter for the show. In addition to the YouTube channel, the Facebook page, all the other different links that we have available.
If you have another podcast, reach out to Junior and we'll trade 5-star reviews.
Absolutely. We are shameless when it comes to helping your show. You scratch our back, we'll scratch yours.
All right. For now, take care. We'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Jason Kidd is my name, and basketball is my game. I can pass the ball, dribble, and shoot the J. But when I played for Dallas, Zacchinelli was a phallus, and he traded me away, and now he rules the day. My triple doubles cause the Mavericks so much trouble. When the sun's coming down, I press down on the gas. Zacchinelli gets so angry, he looks like Lily Langtree, but I love getting even with his Italian ass. I'm just a mulatto, trying to get some El Gato. I father children and roll my expensive cars. Dallas killed the president, and now they need more Pepsodent, cause they can't stomach giving away their biggest star. The Kennedy assassination and the Finley fascination, it makes Dallas want to hang their head and cry, cause they know who did it, but they just can't figure out why.